And welcome to another episode of Does This Podcast Suck? It's been about, 3-4 months.
I'll say that was really nonchalant for... Oh yeah, we're back, guys.
Hey, we're right back. Don't you remember?
Well, I can add
Kyle there. And,
I can add a nice snazzy intro if you want.
and MT.
Yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da.
Surprisingly,
We
we're still
fell
alive.
down the Destiny rabbit hole. Don't actually even know why we're still playing it, because all it does is make us mad.
We're slowly starting to climb out of that hole.
We are.
Well,
yeah. We actually stopped playing long enough tonight to do this.
I landed on Webb on the way down and killed him. That's
And
the
I
joke.
think that was the moment.
Well, to be fair, we only stopped because you couldn't sign back in.
True. But still.
Just as a disclaimer, though, nobody actually seems to like the game anymore. We just keep playing it for some reason.
We want stuff. As many people have mentioned, this game's a giant fucking Skinner box. Like, no one actually likes doing it anymore. We just want the shiny things. And they literally are shiny. Like, you get an exotic and it's shiny.
It'll place a sound when you pick them up.
Yeah. You're like, ooh.
Pretty.
And then you get an exotic you already had and you're like, fuck this game. We did the raid.
Fuck this
I got
game.
a
You guys want to
last
raid?
word, and I was like, oh, come on. Fucking spoiled over here.
This game's terrible. Let's go do the raid. Fuck this.
I think we're pretty much done until March or whenever they release the next DLC. Before we get into the rest of the podcast, I guess some quick Destiny stuff. If they don't make this DLC really good, they're fucked.
Yep.
Pretty sure.
Probably.
There's not a snowball's chance in fucking hell I'm going to buy the next one if it's as terrible as the first one was. Because it was terrible. Supposedly, Luke Smith had made a post and they realized what idiots they are. He mentioned specifically the way you upgrade your guns was bad. They should feel bad. And he mentioned the shard economy was absurd. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, you're getting all this cool stuff and you can't use any of it.
Basically,
Like,
they've hit stage 2 of the Blizzard development cycle.
yeah, they're which it seems like, they could have taken some time while making this game to, play other games ever, or hire someone that's ever actually worked on one. Because while they stubbornly refuse to call this game an MMO, it is. It's an MMO light. And they need to pull their heads out of their asses because everyone's getting really irritated with the game. All the grinding and repetition. While I'm sure some people like grinding in MMO, I don't. That's why I never played them. I liked that it was like an MMO light because I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to play 14 hours, get one piece of equipment, and then a month later it's completely useless. Although at least in other games, right, you get a drop. You don't have to level the fucking thing. In this game, you get a cool drop. You can't even use any of the cool stuff on it for like a week or two. You just got to upgrade everything.
That's kind of one of the things you mentioned too, actually. Was like, you get a cool piece of raid gear and then you don't use it for like however long until you actually get it leveled up, and they don't like that.
Yeah,
So.
they shouldn't like that. It's retarded. I think that people would be a lot less angry about like the whole upgrade process if they didn't have to level up the damn thing again. Like, people have made many suggestions, like add another node to the end of your gun instead of making you upgrade everything, or just make it so that you have all the way up to the perks and then all the, leveling up of damage comes later. Just something, anything to lessen the shit. Because, like, you get, say, your patience and time upgraded all the way, and you go to upgrade it again, and now you don't have patience and time. The signature perk is gone, and you've got to go earn it again, so the gun's almost useless.
To be fair, though, it does take patience and time to re-level it.
Yes, orange. Get out.
And thank you for joining us, everyone.
I will be leaving now. Anyway,
Shut it down. We're all out of here.
enough Destiny talk before everyone listening, all three of you, leave.
Too late.
On to bigger and better things.
I'll make sure in the post on the site to mention when we stop talking about Destiny so people come back.
Figured we'd just get it out of the way now.
We only talk about it for 5 minutes, I swear.
Yeah, no big deal, eh? So I I had a good laugh about this. The Battlefront's getting a Battlefield-sized push from EA.
Star Wars Battlefront. Say.
Well, it means that the game's going to be a buggy mess on launch, I'm guessing, but kind of hoping maybe they've learned a lesson? Maybe? They're saying they're trying to time it for the release of Episode 7, which, holy shit, I can't believe that's this year.
It's all 12 months away. 11 months now.
Yeah, 11 and a half. I think it says something December 18th. How cool is that? This game, we'll see. But yeah, I don't really know what the whole push means, because I think they're just kind of talking out their ass. But I think it's funny to evoke Battlefield, which its name has been fucking destroyed by the last 2 games. So I think that's like the last thing. How about we're going to give it a Dragon Age Inquisition push?
This we'll find out shortly after we find out how bad Hardline does, whether they'll regret that statement or not.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hardline, they're supposed to have another beta this week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't care. It's
No,
Battlefield 4 with cops and robbers.
The last beta wasn't good. So.
I almost feel bad for them. Timing on this fucking game is just
atrocious.
Oh, God. Could they have picked a worse time to make a game about the police
blowing things up?
Cops have been shooting people left and right lately, and it's been getting on the news, and everyone's mad. Let's make a game where you have police shooting people. Oh, that's just great. Yeah, they are armed robbers, but not the best timing.
Still, if I remember correctly, you can, knock down buildings and shit. Overuse of police force is kind of the thing now.
Because you know how often that happens in cop chases.
Everyone's mad about the over-militarization of police, so...
And then they make a Battlefield cop game. That's...
I'm not so certain that's gonna... Maybe that's part of the reason why they delayed it. Of course, it's not getting any better, so...
Timing level Super Saiyan.
Really just getting worse and worse, yeah. I don't think that's going to work out well for them. But, whatever. At least Battlefront might be good.
Yeah, like that I'd actually be interested in keeping an eye on and possibly buying.
Yeah, I mean, it could be good. There's no way in hell I'm pre-ordering it, though. Nope, not a fucking chance.
Nah.
I'm pretty much done pre-ordering things, I think, for a while. Unless it's like a developer. Can't really think of one. Maybe Nintendo? But, I mean, in this day and age, most of those pre-order bonuses are fucking stupid anyway, so... what'd you get with Kingdom Hearts? A booklet or something? Jesus.
It was an art book or something like that, but generally
the art book. And even then, I bought the game after it released, and I still got
it, yeah. The thing for the second game, the thing that I pre-ordered, that was a little more necessary, because they only sold it through their website. It was an actual limited run thing with the steel case that came with both games and all that. That's a little different.
I kind of wanted that, but then I heard they were coming out with a PS4 version, and I was like,
yeah.
Fuck it.
Of course. Fucking...
It's Square Enix. I mean, if they can't squeeze extra money out of you, what else are they going to make a new game? They're too busy making fucking DS sequels forever. God damn it.
And Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 2.18, whatever the fuck they're on.
/481.
Redream Extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Over 32.
Extravaganza. So, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I really am kind of... I like the first 2 Battlefront games were, pretty fun.
Battlefield.
Never got... Battlefront.
Okay.
Go back to that. They're fairly fun, but I don't know, we'll see. Dice making it actually makes it. Dice making a game with lasers and shit.
I thought they made the first one.
I guess it really depends on if they go crazy with it or not. If they just make it what it is, then it'll probably be fine. But if they start putting in drop velocity, fucking bullet drag type garbage,
yeah, that kind of shit. Well, I think because it's a game with lasers, that really shouldn't come into account.
Are they going to think of
by
that?
necessity, a laser just fires until it runs out of energy, so there shouldn't be bullet drop. There's no fucking bullet. But
There'll be a special stormtrooper mode where you can't hit anything.
Use
Every 10 shots
literally can't
will be accurate,
anyone.
or 1 in every 10 shots.
You get like 1,000 bullets per clip. I hit him once. But whatever. So,
maybe.
We'll see. Got my eye on it. Definitely not pre. I would suggest that no one pre-order this game. That's just an awful idea.
With a rare exception, you really shouldn't pre-order anything. Like, if I pre-order something, it's literally the day before it comes out.
But especially this game, though. Don't trust DICE and EA. They need to get the shit together. Alright, moving on. Saw something about Smash Brothers. They're getting, it's not a huge thing, but they're converting some of the normal maps. They're making 8-player versions of them for 15 of the maps. Free. Pretty free download. Kind of neat. The only problem I'd see with that is that 8 players is absolute fuckfest. Don't know if anyone's played it yet, but playing with more than 4 people is fucking insane.
Just what I remember the other Smash Brothers games looking at, like, even 4 people is like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So,
what
especially
is
if you had, like, something like, if somebody was the fucking, like, icebreaker ones, or there's just, like, 2 of them running around already.
Yeah. So, it's still, it's cool, though. It's, they're making something for free. And it's been a fun game. It's good. It's pretty much what we asked for. Hopefully no fucking tripping in the game anymore. Hopefully somebody gave him a good kick in the ass for that one. Ooh, I don't want my game to be played by people that are curious about it. Like, who the fuck? Who? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you want or say that? I just blows my mind.
Because Nintendo.
They're really dusty old man. But he's not a dusty old man. The guy that makes Smash Brothers is like young. Sakurai or whatever the fuck his name is.
He probably has a dusty old man, like, statement quota, though, to be allowed to work there.
To work for Nintendo, you need to brush up on your dusty old man lingo.
You must say at least one thing a week that young people will be confused by.
Kind of hard to say. I never tell how old. I'm terrible at telling how old Asian people are.
Yeah, that's true.
He looks like he's 20, and it turns out he's 44.
That's
God.
Probably accurate. I mean, look at Hideo Kojima. He still looks like he's like 20.
No, you see, he's old enough that you can kind of see like the lines on his eyes and stuff. This guy, he looks pretty damn young.
That could also be because you've been aware of Kojima longer, so you've kind
Also true. I've seen
quote-unquote
Kojima
age.
a lot. Yeah. Oh. Anyhow. Some bad news. Apparently Joystick is closing.
Okay.
Bad news to someone. I don't know. I never actually went there.
I think I saw a picture of their logo once.
The only reason I even know who they are is because sometimes people post things on Reddit that links to them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although I saw an article about it, but it's like they're not even saying anything actual site, but that sucks. Sucks to see another gaming site go. On that same vein, you had mentioned The Escapist.
Yeah,
they're not doing too good right now. At least their game's
stuff
covered
going on there. Well, they lost Jim Sterling, which was probably one of their biggest pulls. Like, all they have left now is Yahtzee.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good thing he's funny as fuck, but
yeah.
God, just imagine if he left. Just go join Jim Sterling somewhere.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm out. No one cared about this website.
He left, like 2 months ago, and then all of a sudden, like, just, like, this past, like, week or two, they lost their, like, editor and, like, a bunch of their bigger writers. But, nobody knows them anyways, but still, they lost a whole bunch of people all of a sudden. Like, I don't know if they're supposed to be doing some kind of restructuring or whatever, but whoever it is that owns them, I forget the name of the company, but they also own, like, Game Trailers and some other game site. I don't know if they're just, like, shuffling shit around or if they're, like, legitimately, like, struggling.
They're owned by Defy Media.
Okay. Whatever that is.
Nothing. They own The Escapist and yep, bunch of weird shit. Whatever. Lots of things going on with video game journalism, quote unquote. So, it still sucks to see it go down. Another thing going down, Club Nintendo's getting shut down. Not really sure what the point of that is. They claim, hey, we're going to do something better, but we're not going to tell you what it is. Just, it's going to be better, guys. My ideal thing would be letting you actually buy things you want. Either of you... You haven't really bought much Nintendo stuff, have you?
No. I have a bunch of stuff, though. I'll have to look through it and see what all applies to that and see if we can get anything from it, I guess.
It'll probably, forward your balances over or whatever. It's basically you put in these points and you can buy shit, but every month it's terrible, stupid shit that no one wants. It's every once in a while I would see something cool, like an old Zelda game for 3DS or something actually good. But those were few and far between.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple virtual console games off of that, I think.
Yeah.
I also got a Zelda, couple Zelda posters, and I got this desk calendar a couple years ago. But more often than most of the time, there was nothing worth a shit. It's here's
promise, it just kind of didn't quite make it.
It's here's a pink 3DS case. Yay!
Hey,
sounds something kind of like what Square Enix did for their stuff, because each of their games comes with a little code that you can put in on their site, and if you get enough points by the end of the year, they actually send out stuff to people based on how many you have, but it takes a stupid amount, and it's always weird, goofy shit that nobody really cares about. At least Nintendo's things had games, even if not good ones.
I think the coolest thing would be just letting you have your pick of any virtual console. Anything you want. If I want to go get Mega Man X, because there's no way in this goddamn earth I'm paying $8 for it. If I want to save up my coins for it, sure. Pay $8? No. Hopefully. If they're smart, that's what they're going to do.
So they won't do that.
Not gonna do.
Yeah, I think you forget who's running Nintendo.
Yeah, speaking of the idiots running Nintendo, got a new copyright policy for YouTube going here, huh? All right,
man.
They've just launched the beta version of a new affiliate program so that they can share advertising revenue with YouTube users that feature copyrighted content. Which I need to take a moment to talk about Nintendo and their copyrighted content. Everyone that's ever played a Nintendo game knows there isn't a story. So I don't really get what they think is being exposed on YouTube. That, more than any other game maker, playing through an entire Nintendo game would do absolutely nothing to make your sales go down. Because there's no story there.
The possible exception being a Legend of Zelda game, and even then, pushing
that
it.
Game barely has a story. It's fun. Compared to, say, Mario, it's got an epic story. But compared to, say, Mass Effect, it's got dick.
Well, something like with Nintendo specifically, too, you would think they would be understanding by now, how much that kind of stuff does for them. I mean, look at the whole, Luigi Death Stare thing.
Yeah, that was fucking huge.
That had to have sold copies of that game.
It had to. We laughed our fucking asses off when that came out. So, it's mind-boggling that they think somehow that because they're showing footage of their games, okay, I get that when companies that have heavily story-based games don't want their shit on YouTube, okay, that's a gray area. If that's the biggest part of the game is the story and somebody's broadcasting the entire story, all right, that it's kind of a fair point. I still think they should just leave them alone, but you got a fair point there. With a Nintendo game, though, there's no fucking story. There's nothing to spoil. There's nothing to give away. There's nothing that you could watch about a Nintendo game that would make you say, oh, well, now I don't need to buy it. There's nothing to watch. Nintendo games are always about playing. They're fun to play. You can watch someone play Mario, but playing Mario is more fun. And let's be honest, you watch somebody play one Mario game, you've watched them play all of them because they're the fucking same. Slight tweaks. I love Mario, but come on. So it's mind-boggling. And the other side of the coin is, okay, well, they want to make some money off of this, but, do they honestly think they're going to make enough money to compensate for pissing everyone off? Okay, you're going to share... you're going to take 30% of the revenue, because the thing is, it will grant registered users 60% of the advertising revenue. And this covers everything, too. Having anything a certain length from a Nintendo game, Nintendo automatically gets 30 to 40% of your money from it. For doing nothing, they made the game, you bought the game. I bought the game. If I make a video about the game, or let's say I have a review and I put a couple minutes of the game in, whatever, do you really think you're entitled to money from that? What did you do? I'm making a fucking review. So it's I don't understand how they think this is good. I just can't. I can't wrap my brain around it. It's so dumb. I mean, it's par for the course. They're looking at the RAA and the goddamn thing. Oh, what's this digital stuff? Ah! And let's not even get into their ridiculous digital policies. That's a whole other thing. But it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of our audience, really. They took the right attitude here would be, hey, it's fucking free advertising. Somebody's going to sit here and play my fucking game. And everyone watching, it's going to be like, oh, cool, because, come on. Nintendo games always get 9s and 10s across the board. They're good games, almost always. Except Metroid Other M, but that wasn't really made by Nintendo and everyone knows it. So, there's no way that a video showing a Nintendo game is going to harm it. And if your game is so shitty that showing a video of it would harm it, fuck you anyway. It's free advertising. Boggles my mind. I don't get it. Other companies are totally down with this shit. Nintendo just, I don't know, thumbs up their asses as usual.
They're a Japanese company. I don't mean that as a joke. I'm being serious. They're behind on a lot of shit.
They need to get their heads out of their asses. I mean, Sony's Japanese too. They're not this dumb. Sony's been around for a long fucking time too. I guess not as long as Nintendo, dusty old men, etc.
In Sony's case, though, the American arm has been taking control of the video game part of their thing for a while.
It's obviously working because they're selling PS4s like fucking hotcakes. We were just looking at this before. They've got 18.6 million PS4s sold versus 9 million Wii U's and 11.1 Xbones. So
they haven't even released in China yet.
It's definitely not perfect. The PSN is a piece of shit. I don't care why. I don't give a fuck why. Someone's DDoSing it. They have protections for those things. Figure it the fuck out. Stop pissing people off. I mean, part of this spawns from them being giant dickholes a few years ago. So, but their digital policies are fantastic. I can put my shit on as many PS4s as I want. If I break my PS4 and I want to re-download all my shit, sure, go for it. No big deal.
Yeah.
Nintendo, I break my Wii U, you're fucked. Hope you... Then, well, no, I don't even know how you... Can you back it up? I don't even know. I think you're just fucked. Go Nintendo. It's so weird to see them just... I don't know, it's so anti-customer, and they're usually so good, but when it comes to the digital thing, again, thumbs up their asses. They just don't... They don't get with the program quick enough. Everyone else is moving, Even Microsoft, they have great digital policies. They have the same ones Sony does. They're not going to fucking hassle you over a game that you fucking paid them for. You paid them. They want you to have it. Nintendo's got the most obnoxiously restrictive DRM I've ever fucking heard of. DRM on the console. Come on. So, Nintendo just continually frustrates me with their inability to... It's weird that a company that's always so innovative, too, is just so, at the same time, innovative and traditional and slow to adapt to change. Weird. guess they have their own kind of quirky and fun. Okay, well, how about we get the basics right first? Huh? So, I don't know. That whole thing, need to pull their heads out of their ass. And I mean, at this point, nobody's going to fucking bother with you. I'm not going to make any Nintendo videos. They can blow me. They give them my share of my money just because I have a Nintendo game in there. Give me a break. And I'm pretty sure that's what most people are thinking. Yeah, fuck you. I'll use my time to play other games. It only bites them in the ass. Anyway, in more interesting news, The Elder Scrolls Online has dropped their subscription.
Well, are dropping it in March.
Well, they are. Yeah. To the surprise of absolutely no one.
Well, they didn't hide the fact very well either, because, when there was with the subscription going, like most subscription-based MMOs, they had 3 subscription options. 1 month at a time, 3 months at a time, 6 months at a time. And a couple months ago, they dropped the 6 month option completely.
Whoops!
Everybody's
good on them for not fucking over people, right?
Yeah, and then like certain retailers started pulling it from the shelves with very little explanation.
I do like the model. I don't give even the slightest of fucks about playing this, but the model is solid sounding. You buy it and you play it. That's it.
Yeah, they have other things to it, but yeah, it's none of their shit. It's nowhere near as horrifying as Old Republic's free-to-play model was. That was just holy shit.
In a nutshell? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, I know they burned themselves pretty hard on the money they spent on that game, but holy shit.
Well, make a better game. Sorry.
Well, I think part of their issue with that one too was they're fucking they went nuts with the advertising and people didn't care that much.
Oh, they didn't.
No. It's it's a Star Wars game. That's cool.
Frankly, I think they would have spent their money better just making the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 3. Would have been better money spent.
Yeah. Oh, I played it for a little bit, and the story was pretty good and all that.
It does vaguely tie into the old games, right? But there's some retcon.
Yeah, it ties in. There's stuff with Revan.
I read comic books, so retcons don't really bother me.
But yeah, anyways, it was, it wasn't bad. It just, especially as an MMO, there was nothing stand out about it. The cool thing was, everything was voice acted, story choices and stuff, which, made it feel like a BioWare game, more or less. But then, once that wore out, it's well, this is dumb.
Well, I'm done.
And even when I canceled my subscription for it, after I got through the main game and stuff and tried a little bit of the end game stuff, I was should have been a single player game.
Yep. Should have. I played it a bit and I was I have no idea why this is.
Yeah.
It was built like the other game too. Similar.
Yeah,
but more grindy, of course, because MMO equals grind, which is why I play them.
Yeah. But yeah, their free-to-play model was I don't even have a word to describe how bad it was.
Their free-to-play model was, and I quote, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Buy me. Yeah. Unspoken rule.
We'll make you pay for something.
Yeah, you'll buy it. God help me, you will buy it. One way or another.
But yeah, what I've seen of the Elder Scrolls one, what they plan to do with it, it's not the best one I've seen, but it's up there. It's pretty good. Especially since the huge fucking update they have coming out soon will actually be part of the free game. And it's adding pretty much everything that people were hoping the game would have to begin with when it first came out.
Like what?
The justice system where you can actually pickpocket NPCs and kill them and stuff like that, you could do in the regular Elder Scrolls game.
Like in every other Elder Scrolls game ever made. They seriously didn't fucking have that.
No,
in the game.
It didn't start with it. That was one of those things they were working on, and yeah, that's pretty much one of the things that hurt them.
That's one of the most iconic things I can fucking think of from that game is robbing the NPCs and killing them. That's the first fucking thing you can do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get out of when you play Morrow and you walk out of a dungeon and boop, gank someone. Fuck it.
Yeah, they'll finally have that. So, like I said, it's pretty much how the game should have been when it launched. So the fact that they're timing it with this rebranding of it, I think is a well thought out plan. Hey, look, we actually have the things you wanted now. And they're doing something too that took Blizzard a while to learn, and Destiny is still trying to figure it out. Things like your mounts and pets and like costumes and stuff will be in a separate thing, not part of your inventory with this update. That's something that no MMO seems to be able to figure out right away. But yeah, I mean, it looks great. I looked at some of the updates. Oh, they put out, and I honestly think that like their stuff takes so long with this game because somebody in that company is just like, we need to make more cutscenes. They just put out another 7.5 minute, like high-end CG fucking movie.
So, like, they're literally the opposite of Bungie.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, and it continues off of the other, like, 3 7-minute ones they had from before, too. Like, they got, like, almost like a full fucking movie at this point with these things.
Good. At least there's a fucking story.
Yeah.
I remember stories. I've been playing fucking Destiny and GTA, so story is kind of a loose thing for me right now.
What was this again?
Yeah.
I've forgotten all about what story means.
Well, the only thing is, the story I just got from GTA tonight was taking pictures of some chick getting effed in the A, so that was pretty much GTA in a nutshell.
The mission that Lindsay Lohan thought was about her.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one?
Yep.
That's funny. God,
there's a mission where this famous person's a whore. It's got to be about me.
They couldn't have asked for a better bit of publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting one. That's the story of GTA.
Taking pictures of some girl getting effed in the A.
Yep.
For 30 hours.
For 30 hours.
Enjoy Grand Theft Auto.
Grand BF Auto.
Grand Theft Anal.
Oh boy!
I
all right, come on. Now you're being way too obvious with it. Okay.
Well, I was gonna say that probably is an actual porn movie. I have no doubt.
Yeah, that is no fair using actual porn titles.
Yeah, come on. Good times. So, back onto a front where I'm going to get mad again. In very disappointing news, the Dying Light developers are fucking idiots. Try to get to the basically, not only are they filing DMCA complaints against mods, which are clearly not, I don't understand how you can file a claim against a mod. Like
I would presume these are just like cosmetic type things and not like game altering things.
Pretty sure that abusing the DMCA should get you kicked in the nuts and sued, but the world we live in.
Well, according to that little thing I saw, one of the mods that someone got in trouble for was removing the film grain effect.
Yeah, removing the film grain effect.
Wow. Who fucking cares?
Like, okay, you know what you want to do with a game like this is you want to separate out the single and multiplayer. Like you've seen at some games, it kind of goes into a different area, and then you launch whatever the fuck it is, whatever the thing VAC uses, or that other shitty ass one that Battlefield always used, Punkbuster, whatever. But this shit, they're gonna block all mods, single and multiplayer, and they're fucking taking, putting in phony DMCA takedown notices for the mods that already exist. Like, what kind of shit ass company does that? And in the first comment in this Reddit thread really kind of brings it. Really puts it in the perfect ways. Like, they released their first good game in ages and already ensured that many people won't be buying from them again. This is going to be a PR nightmare. Yeah.
No, and they've already been taking shit as it was because they didn't put out review copies before the game came out. Well, I think they started like people started getting them like the day before the game came out. Something like that.
It's just,
which is kind of shady.
I don't understand why companies do these things. It's like, do they think that everyone that buys their games are retards and just aren't going to care? Like, you're going to alienate a huge portion of the people that buy it, and those ones are probably likely to be the biggest nerds, who are the people that talk up your games the most.
Yeah, and like, there's a lot of games too that, like, you know, the community for it thrives because of modding.
This
like,
game
look
is
at the
fucking
Elder Scrolls
invisible by like popular standards. Like, No one fucking knows what this game is unless they're a nerd. So if you piss off the nerds, no one's gonna play it.
Pretty much.
Like, you gotta understand who you're fucking selling to. Like, I just don't understand. So it's just like, I see companies do this shit, and I'm like, what do you hope to achieve here? What actually, like, what is your goal? Why can I not play the game the way that I want to? Like, why does it bother you? Who the fuck cares? Why do they care? Why do they care? I mean, they haven't really said. They're just like, fucking fuck you.
They got mad because they didn't make it themselves. They didn't think to take out the grain filter.
Yeah, I mean, at least put a fucking option in.
Yeah.
But how about you just not be giant assholes? Just a thought. Like, leave it alone. You're not... No one's, like, cheering this on. Like, there's no one anywhere that was like, oh, yay, I'm so glad you... No one said that.
All I know is it makes me feel better for trying to, like, convince people I know it worked to not buy the game.
It's just
like, well,
so
maybe you should lay off of that one. And then I see stuff like this, I'm like, yeah, that was a good idea.
And who's this made by?
Techland.
Who?
Techland.
I've never even heard of them.
Dead Island people.
Like, terrible sounding company, like spawned from, like, some third-party peripheral thing. Like Codemasters or something.
By WB. By Codemasters. Oh, Jesus.
We are the masters of code. No.
Oh my god, they made Call of Juarez. Oh, Dead Island. That's an okay game. They're just not... When you're a game company that small, you really gotta kind of not piss off all your customers. EA can get away with it because they've basically locked away all the things we love by buying them. So we kind of have to deal with them. Like, I wish that they didn't own BioWare, but they do. So here we are. But a company like that, you can't do that. I'm not going to buy this game now, and I don't give a fuck either. Good job.
So I won't be playing co-op with anybody then.
Yeah, sorry, MT. We're on a sinking ship. So, one of the last things I wanted to talk about, I think is super fucking cool. Microsoft put out this thing about Windows 10. Now, side note, anyone with Windows 7 or 8 will get a free upgrade to Windows 10.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For a year.
For a year.
Oh.
You have a year to claim it. It's a permanent upgrade.
It doesn't run out in a year.
It's not like a limited edition, like a limited version or anything. It's you get Windows 10.
So if you have
a year to claim it from release. Huh?
Yep.
So 7 and 8, like you get
7
that?
and 8.
Oh, that's like fucking everybody pretty much who's had a computer in the past
fucking
10
everybody.
years.
Yeah. Anybody that's got a computer that will run it can get it.
That's actually really cool.
Fun new thing. Yeah. Now, that's cool. Kudos to them. I feel like they're taking this approach probably because Windows 8 was a huge fucking flop like they haven't seen in a while.
Flopped so hard they skipped 9.
Yeah. That was the joke I made. I'm like, Windows 8 was so bad they just skipped 9 and went right to 10. Because Microsoft. So, now the cool thing is, there's a couple cool things. First thing that caught my eye, you got fucking what I would call Microsoft Remote Play. Okay, so there's an Xbox app on the PC. You can stream games to your fucking PC from the Xbone. And they said many of the accessories are, interchangeable. You can customize your experience however you want, blah, blah, blah. One cool thing I would love to see is if they allowed you to use mouse and keyboard. That would be like the ultimate in fucking awesomeness.
They won't. Pretty
certain they won't. However, another thing I saw, in addition to this sweet-ass streaming thing, which I'm really waiting to see more, they're going to have... Somewhere in here I saw, I can't remember what it was, but they're going to have... Xbox Live and multiplayer across devices. That means, as far as I can tell, they're going to allow you to play people on PC and Xbox at the same time. Both can play together. They even talked about how they're bringing Fable Legends to Windows. And it says, this means Fable fans running Windows 10 will be able to play against their fellow gamers on Xbox One. It's the same game in the same world on the same map. And it's just the first of the major game franchises from Microsoft Studios coming to Windows 10, and we're hoping to have more to share. That's fucking cool. You don't see that often. To be able to play against people on PC is actually cool as shit. It also sounds like this Xbox app is going to kind of be like almost like a Steam type of thing for Windows. It's got messaging, your friends, all that kind of thing. And I'm thinking because it's going to be more integrated with Xbox Live, maybe it won't be such an enormous piece of shit like Games for Windows Live was. Because it was kind of like half-ass integrated. And I'm thinking what a lot of game developers are probably going to do, it's going to attach to it just like it does on an Xbox. Like it's just going to...
That's if like it works for third-party stuff, because they have conveniently not said.
Who gives a fuck? It's cool for what it is. It's a neat step in the right direction.
Well, yeah, it's definitely like it's making me not hate Microsoft like I used to.
Just a little bit less. They're still cunts and they do dickish things, but this is pretty cool. It's a step forward for once without 14 steps backwards like they usually do, because not unlike Nintendo, they have their thumbs up their asses most of the time.
Yeah, overall, like since Phil Spencer has taken over, like I am definitely legitimately impressed with some of the steps they've taken. I don't want an Xbox, but I would be willing to actually touch one now.
But I guess an update on me, since we haven't podcasted in like 3 months, I bought an Xbox One. I know, I did the evil deed, joining MT and no one wants to play with me. Nobody wants to play with me.
Still
I don't even Xbox Live because they can blow me.
To be fair, I don't even want to play with me. I haven't touched my Xbox in a
while. It's my Halo box. Let's be honest. I missed Halo. I missed out on the 360 generation. I played it at people's houses, but I just wanted to play it. So I got the Master Chief Collection.
It's a good thing you don't want to. It's a good thing you don't want to play the online because it's terrible.
And still to this day broken. Amazing. I can't even it boggles my fucking mind. And I got, the Walmart was selling, I bought it at Walmart. While I was in Florida, during Black Friday, they had a deal on this thing for $3.29 and a $30 gift card, which, like holy shit. I got an Xbox One for $300 and the Master Chief Collection, which was the game I wanted. And then I got Sunset Overdrive for like $10 because I had Best Buy rewards. So I made out pretty good on this. I was pretty happy about that. All the games that I want, all 2 of them, I got them both for about $315. It was pretty sweet. But anyway, yeah, this Windows 10 Xbox integration thing sounds pretty cool. It seems like they're making it more like an Xbox, which I think is a step in the right direction. Like letting you talk to your Xbox friends and look at your achievements, see your games, just all that kind of shit. Definitely a step in the right direction. If it's more like Steam, that's cool too. I will never buy any. If they have a third-party game thing, I'm never ever buying any in there because. But I wouldn't feel so bad buying Microsoft games out of there. Still prefer them in Steam, but of course, they're probably going to do the Origin thing if this is the way they're going. Which annoying, but all right, whatever. Origin's not that bad. Not as good as Steam, but it's not that bad either. So. Yeah, this thing is super exciting, especially the remote play thing. I'm really waiting to hear more about that because that sounds so fucking cool. Hoping, and I know it's not going to happen, but I'm hoping they'll let you use mouse and keyboard because it'd be super fucking cool to play Halo with a mouse and keyboard. And I guess that brings us to the very last thing that we had. Yet another study finding no links between violent video games and youth violence.
Specifically, it's a long-term study.
A long-term study. They did, I don't know that it said how long the study was. Oh! Whoa! They noted let's see, second study, the first study was from like 1920 to 2005. The second study was 96 to 2011.
1920?
Yeah.
What?
Pong causes violence in children.
They studied, let's see, the first two historical studies. The researchers examined the correlation of violent films and societal violence.
Films, okay.
Analyzing the frequency of violent acts and the top-grossing titles between. The study notes that the film violence followed a rough U pattern, whatever the fuck that means, but that societal violence fluctuated differently, with the latter half of the 20th century even showing an increase in film violence. Second study into video game violence used data from the ESRB to estimate the violent content of popular games from 1996 to 2011, and this was compared to data on youth violence during the same years, with the study finding a correlation between falling youth violence and the popularity of video games. During this time, youth violence dropped precipitously, the researchers write, with their fancy college words, despite maintaining very high levels of media violence in society with the introduction of video games. So basically, despite all this horribly violent shit, violence among youth is going down. And in a press statement, they noted that the media narrative surrounding violent video games and youth violence may be due to the limited amount of resources and attention that society can devote to the problem of reducing crime. I mostly attribute that to people being fucking idiots and just jumping to conclusions, because that's pretty much what everyone on this earth does.
Yep.
Back in the 60s, it was comic books. Then in the 80s, it was punk music. So it's always some fucking thing. So he adds that, however, if the wrong problem is identified, it may distract society from more pressing concerns such as that of poverty, education, and vocational disparities in mental health, which, yeah. So, good to see a study, like a long-term study, really come out and pretty much prove what we all fucking knew anyway. So, I found that interesting. We'll probably put a link up to it on a podcast page, but, I'm sure that won't stop the... Yeah, we'll say we will. We will, because, fuck you. But
we say a lot of things.
I say a lot of shit, okay? Don't blow me. But still, it's good to see that stuff. I'm sure it won't stop the media from being the fucking clueless idiots that they are, but hey, at least you can point to something specific now. Actually, you're full of shit. Look at this. So, alright, so for the last part here, we're going to talk about what we've been playing.
Hooray.
Yay. Hey, MT, what have you been playing?
Destiny!
Besides that.
Destiny!
Have you been playing the game we just talked shit about for 10 minutes?
And Destiny!
Somebody doesn't want to talk about Dying Light.
How's Dying Light, MT?
What's that?
I don't even know about video games.
Never heard of this Dying. Is that a video game? Is that a movie? What?
I don't even... What is this?
My lights are fine.
I just got new light bulbs.
Oh god, do I need to change the batteries already? Shit. Yeah, I have been playing Dying Light. I've only been playing about... playing about 2.5 hours so far. Not too far past the tutorial. That game's fun so far. I mean, I'm not playing it on the PC, so I don't have to worry about mods and them not working. But
especially because fuck you, kid.
Yeah. If anyone has played Dead Island, it's kind of like that. It's the same people that made Dead Island. They took out what kind of differentiated Dead Island from other open world type games, with which was analog combat, which meant like I think you had to. It's been a while since I played the first game, but I think if you held like the right trigger or whatever, and moved the right analog stick to the right, your guy would like wind up. And then, like, you could kind of swing the analog stick the other direction the way you wanted to swing the weapon. So you could, like, target arms and legs and heads and whatnot and take people out that way, which was really cool.
It seemed a bit complicated when I played it. Like, overly so, but I didn't really play it that much.
I mean, you don't want a guy chasing after you, you take his legs out, and if there's a guy, a giant guy trying to grab you, you take his arms out. So,
it did afford you more specific role.
So you had that going.
Of being horribly complicated at times.
I guess. I mean,
you are running away from that guy chasing you. Sometimes you just want to hit the motherfucker.
Well, you don't have to play that way. That's just an option.
Yeah, I mean, you could just shoot him. So.
Well, no, you could do it more like it does in Dying Light, which is just you pull the right trigger and you swing. That's
I guess you did kind of have the option.
Yeah, this also another thing that differentiates this from Dead Island is it kind of for the actual getting around, it focuses on parkour. Not quite to the level of something like Mirror's Edge, but you're able to like run towards a ledge, look up at it, and jump and pull yourself up and climb buildings to a degree and whatnot. And the basic zombie type can't climb, so if you're like surrounded by them, that's a good way to get away from them for a little bit, take a breather. There are also other. I mean, obviously there's just more than one type of zombie, but there's one. I forget the actual name they call him in the game, but basically it amounts to a person that had just recently been bitten, that had just recently turned. They're still able to run at you and climb walls and whatnot, so you're not totally safe up on rooftops or whatnot, but for the most part, you're able to get away from them. It also has a full-on day-night cycle, and when nighttime falls, it gets a lot harder. It turns into almost like a stealth game. In the radar, you have like vision cones of some of the zombies nearby. Not all of them, but I think it's only the quicker type. But if they see you, like if you turn your light on or if you make a lot of noise, like they will chase you down until they kill you, and they will not stop. Like you can get away from it, obviously, but it's not easy. So far, I've only played one night section, so I don't know how difficult it gets later on, but that one section was enough to make me not want to do that again anytime soon, because my heart was fucking racing. I was, trying to hide, and I can see things coming closer to me on the radar, and like, oh god, please don't see me, so.
Oh god.
Oh god, oh crap.
And you said something earlier too about running into like real people you had to fight that was like quite a bit different.
Yeah, I don't really like I said, I've only been playing for a couple hours, so I haven't run into it too often. But one of the side missions I was doing was involved. Some guy was giving out a homemade version of the anti-zombie drug, whatever they call it, that wasn't obviously the right version, so it was making people sick and whatnot. So you're kind of tasked with taking them out. And what made it different is they actually had weapons. And from what I understand, there's more of this stuff later on. There's actual other factions of people you fight that I haven't gotten to yet. But they would actually have weapons. So like if you try to swing at them, they would block with it or they would dodge out of the way. And you kind of had to change up your strategy a little bit. It was still not super hard, but since it was the first time I had messed with it, I didn't really know what I was doing. But at some point, not too far in, you unlock the ability to kind of dodge out of the way, do a quick jump backwards to dodge. So when they swing at you, you can move out of the way and take them out that way. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've done so far. It's basically just an open world zombie game, for lack of a better way to put it. You also, another thing I didn't mention is when you're swinging your weapon, you actually have a stamina meter, so you can't just constantly keep swinging. Eventually, you'll get tired and you have to kind of back off. And you also have the ability to kick people, which kind of pushes them away and gives you a second to recover. So there's some nuance to the combat. It's not just straight up run up to a guy, smack him a couple times, and run to the next guy.
Well, sounds pretty much like fun.
Yeah.
Too bad they ruined it by being dickholes.
Yeah, the thing about that developer is that they're kind of hit and miss. Like I think they're 50-50 so far, and some games are good, some games are bad, and when they're bad, they're real bad.
I mean, Dead Island seemed fine.
If you're into that kind of thing.
I mean, it looked fun. It seemed to me like you'd get bored of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me on Dead Rising. Not Dead Rising, goddammit.
Well,
Dead Island
too.
Yeah, but not to a lesser extent. But yeah, with Dead Island, I played maybe 5 or 6 hours and was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and it doesn't happens with some games. It's like, all right, there's nothing new that's really going to happen at this point, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know how long it'll last until I get tired of it, but so far it's keeping my interest, and I am looking forward to going back and playing more of it. So,
well, we'll start. Aside from their shitty practices.
What are you playing, Kyle?
You should probably go first. It might take me a while.
I'm playing GTA and Destiny. I have nothing.
Oh, okay,
so.
All right then.
I already talked about me, taking pictures of Lindsay Lohan.
No, not Lindsay Lohan.
I mean, of not Lindsay Lohan.
She's totally going to come and sue us, you bastard.
That would mean somebody actually listens.
Yeah, bring it on. That'd mean we'd get listeners.
Okay, well, I have been playing Dragon Age Inquisition, primarily.
Okay.
Which, yeah, pleasantly surprised. I avoided getting it at launch. I didn't pre-order. I didn't buy it until like a month or so after it had been out, because I, quite frankly, did not trust BioWare anymore.
Yeah, I guess by that point, Nick had pretty much blown his load about it.
Yeah, well, and a couple other people I know, but like, you know, after, like, I didn't play the Mass Effect games, but I know the first two were good, and I saw the, like, internet shaking with rage after the third one. So, like, I had a good idea of how that went. And then after Old Republic, I was just like, oh, nope. I'm not touching one of these right away again.
Nope.
But yeah, I finally got it. I got it on sale on Amazon, so I finally ended up getting it. And I watched like a music video or something.
Was that when it was like $40?
Yeah, I got it for like 40. So I was like, oh, that's a good price. I'll go for that. And I've always really liked the Dragon Age games. Like, there was a lot of complaints about the second one. It felt very rushed because they kicked it out like a year and a half after the first game came out. So obviously there was some rushing there. But overall, it was a decent game. It just wasn't what you would expect from BioWare. The story was a lot more linear than you expect from them. But this one is just like, this is what people were waiting for in terms of a BioWare game. It's just fucking huge. Like, I'm pretty sure main storyline wise, I'm maybe halfway through the game. I've already put like 105 hours into it.
Holy crap.
Jesus Christ.
There's just a lot of side shit to do, a lot of huge, like the maps, like when you go to an area, it's just enormous most of the time.
When you play a game, you fucking play that game, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But like, just the sheer amount of time I've gotten out of this game, like pretty much what I said in the topic that we had for the game was, BioWare, I forgive you. Because... yeah, and one thing I like about it too is there are actually dragons. You know, the games are called Dragon Age. Like I think each game had one legitimate dragon, which was, you know, it was still pretty cool and all that. But this, like, there's a lot of them. Like, you can actually go and fight and kill them, and they are intense fights. Like, they take like up to 10 minutes to kill a dragon because they're fucking huge and not very happy with you.
Well, they are dragons.
Yeah. So, like everything, it feels like it has the best parts from Origins and Dragon Age 2 in it, as far as like the combat and stuff like that goes. It feels like they actually listen to like people's concerns with the other games.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see if that holds up through the ending.
Yeah.
Like, I have not beat it yet, so, but I haven't heard any. Right? Yeah, I haven't heard any, like, you know, outrage. So I'm assuming they did a decent job there.
We hope.
One thing that's interesting with it too that I found out, like, I noticed it myself, but then like Nick had confirmed it with some of the other stuff that is in the game. They actually like cover like everything that they've had, because they've done a few books and stuff like that. A couple, like, they did like an animated movie thing, and they actually incorporate characters from all that stuff, like even like just like little side things and stuff. But if you had read those things, you would recognize that person. And then they have a whole like website, this Dragon Age Keep thing for like, since, you know, this is a new console generation that the games are on, you can't carry your save over like you could with the first two. So they have this whole thing where you basically take what feels like a fucking 400-page quiz about the first two games, how you do like the choices you made and stuff like that, and it'll actually set up the game world, you know, to fit your choices. So yeah, it was really well thought out. It feels like they put out Dragon Age 2 while they were working on this, like, and that they've been working on this for like 5 or 6 years.
That is a pretty glowing review.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. So, like, hopefully this is a good sign for Mass Effect fans, since I know they're making another one of those.
Here's a question: should I bother playing 2 when I do eventually play these?
I would say yes. Like, 2 at this point, like, just knowing how the story is playing out so far in this one, 2 is almost like a prologue to this game. Like, it's very, like, the events that happen in 2 are basically set up for this entire game to some degree.
I do have. Damn it. Many fucking games to play. I got Origins, I got Awakening, Dragon Age 2. Fuck.
Yeah, I would recommend playing them. Like, I wouldn't say go crazy with them. Just get through the story, and so you know the main points, which you should be able to do without too much trouble, especially with the second one.
I have too many games to play. I was just looking through my list, and I came over Evolve. Had a little laugh to myself. Just throwing out there real quick. I'm going to put a link up to this video from Jim Inquisition because it's funny as fuck about what a just festering pile of shit Evolve is. Not really for gameplay reasons, which I personally found it to be terrible.
Like the only real information you need there is they had pre-order DLC bonuses before there were screenshots for the game. Yeah,
that is the most obnoxious fucking thing ever.
That's really the only thing you should need to hear.
Yeah, that really kind of sets the tone. I just can't even I can't even.
Like, to be fair, like what they're doing with their DLC is not horrifying. Like, I've seen so much worse. Like, any maps they put out, any game modes they put out will all be free. That's just the monsters and the hunters and then like skins or whatever. But still, they have so much planned already.
We're approaching like Watch Dogs level of fucking stupid here, though.
Yeah.
As Jim had said, if you need a fucking table to know which things to buy, you have fucked up.
Or what you can buy.
Yeah. People just want to know where to get the thing so they can play the thing. So, yeah.
Like, I've seen worse DLC policies, but the way they've... Like, any press relating to it, anything, like, they've said some really stupid shit right off the bat, so that's what hurt them.
I can't say it's that surprising, because 2K pushes Borderlands, but I felt like Borderlands had more tact to it, and it was more of a value for your money. Like, I was more than happy to pay for and play the DLC in Borderlands. That's like, honestly, one of the only games that I have ever bought DLC for. That and BioShock Infinite.
Well, didn't they have like a lot of story stuff with their DLC though?
Yeah, with tons.
Yeah,
you
like
got
this.
Hours of shit to do in each one. It was amazing.
Yeah,
puts Destiny to fucking shame.
Well, yeah, this from the looks of it too, it's like strictly like new monsters, new hunters, and yay.
I don't remember how much the season pass was to begin with for Borderlands. I want to say it was like $20 or $30.
Probably 25.
25, you think?
That's what they usually are.
And like, okay, if you were to compare that to Destiny's DLC, it's like there was like another game's worth of shit. The season pass of this game, like, there was so much shit. There's Captain Scarlet or Pirate's Booty, Mr. Torgue's Campaign of Carnage, their Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, Tiny Tina's Assault, and they even had a season 2 with even more. And the Tiny Tina one was so fun. It was retarded. You're doing a role-playing Dungeons and Dragons thing, and I mean, all of these DLCs are hours of content. Just so much better. Destiny.
That's because Destiny's DLC was stuff that should have been in the main game but got cut out.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much
and not even a lot of it. Like, for those that may not know, it was like, what was the base price for it? Like $20
per
if you didn't get the season pass thing,
which you can still buy. And
it was literally 3 single player missions and like baseline 1 strike, 1 raid, like, and like 2 multiplayer maps.
2 strikes if you're on PlayStation.
Yeah, and if you're on PlayStation, you got an extra strike.
Actually, I just remembered that.
It's not terrible, but I mean, it's pretty basic. But yeah, it's just like not worth $20. Like, if it was $10, maybe. Not 20. Definitely not $20 worth of DLC.
$8, maybe. Yeah. Well, and they look at all the fucking. The problem is about this game that there's 2 types of gameplay that are actually both viable, which is a testament to it being a fairly decent game. It's decent enough that there are people that want to play multiplayer and people that want to play PvE. Good enough for that. But you don't see that a lot. A lot of games either have a good single player or a good multiplayer, and not both.
Yeah, like
and you'll see the DLC always focuses on one. Call of Duty doesn't come with story missions because who in the fuck plays the story for Call of Duty? Right? And likewise, like BioShock or even well, okay, I guess Batman had both, but who gave a fuck about the Batman multiplayer? And they didn't try to bundle this shit together either. That was the thing. They put in multiplayer maps and all this shit. Like, anyone even gives a fuck. And they put in all the PvE stuff, which was what most people gave a fuck about. And they said, look at the value. You get maps and blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck about maps for multiplayer.
Those weren't very good anyways.
And
I didn't like the new maps.
Fucking maps. I don't care. They're maps. Like, it doesn't matter. There's enough variation that it's like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. There's just not enough. I've never felt like I've never bought a map pack for a game because I don't give a fuck. Until Titanfall, which the one time I did it, a grave mistake.
Yeah, I don't think any of us even looked at the last part of that.
We didn't. We never even played it because no one gave a fuck. We were like, Destiny, whatever.
I would love to go back to Titanfall, but the problem with that now is everyone that's still playing it has been playing it the whole time, and it's going to kill me before I can fucking do anything.
I don't even care.
Yeah, me neither. I uninstalled it, and it's fucking 40 gigs of audio files, and then I got rid of Origin.
I mean, it was fine for a bit. It just,
yeah.
The game was fun. I don't care.
It was fun, but it just there's no longevity to it. I quit, and I'm not even looking back. I don't care. Which I imagine I'll do with Destiny at some point as well. So, whatever. Get all them gigabytes back. Gibby bits. All the gigabytes. Oh man, that freed up a shit. Alright, well, I think that pretty much does it. It's been a long time. We did one of these. We're hoping to continue doing these in a timely manner. Probably going to switch the day to Mondays now, FYI. Obviously, you would know this if you're listening to it on Monday. Yeah. Any other comments, guys?
Suck.
Duck. Did you just say duck?
I said you suck.
Oh.
I heard duck too.
Thank you, MT.
Duck to you too, you freak.
And with that, thank you for joining us, MT.
Fuck off.
Thank you for joining us, Kyle.
Sure.
And we will talk to you all next week.
Or 3 months from now.
Shut up.
Whichever.
We're not going to do that. We'll at least get one more in.
And then we're done. Screw it.
And yeah, then I'm off the stuff, okay? It's for real. I don't even care about Destiny that much.
One more time, baby. That's it. Just one more time.
One more time, man. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.